Hello everyone, this will be my first ever video on the MikMath channel. I am going to be your guys' tutor for the next little bit here, with the intent of just helping you guys out with some math, that you guys will need in your future careers, because I don't know where you guys are at currently in your math careers, but I definitely know for sure, since I'm a engineering student myself, almost done actually, that you guys will need math for everything you do. For everything you do, should you choose to go that route. You might not, but chances are you probably will, because everything depends on math. You need math for everything. And trust me, ask your parents, they'll tell you the same thing. It's just a very good thing to have in the back of your mind. Just always be able to count, to kind of know for yourself. It's a very, you just got to be smart with it, I will be going through kind of like the most, I'd say, misunderstood / hard topics for students to understand. So generally speaking, kind of like things like algebra and whatnot, like variables, kind of equations, stuff like that. Just to make it a little bit easier for you guys, because I know school can get a little bit overwhelming at times. Teachers don't always do the best kind of explanations and whatnot. So just to provide you guys like a second kind of line of support, with many like examples, with theory explained, whatnot. So hopefully you guys will benefit from this. So essentially, I'll start off from kind of basics. So that'd be something like, algebra, kind of like terms, equations, expressions, whatnot, and then progress up and up through fractions and inequalities, and then all the way up to kind of graphing and all that kind of things, and evaluating them. So drawing, whatnot, plotting. So we'll get exponentially more kind of complex, but rest assured, we'll build up the steps, because everything in math, I promise you guys, as someone who's done calculus, which is like one of the highest forms of mathematics, because you need literally everything before it builds up one by one. It doesn't matter whether you're down here. So imagine math as like this kind of staircase, right? This is like calculus, right? This is like an integral. Now, I know you guys probably don't really know what this means yet, but rest assured, we'll get you guys there, okay? So this is an integral, right? One of the most complicated cliche kind of things you can come up with in math. And then you start off with, let's say, x plus 5, right? X plus 5 equals 6, right? That's like, may seem basic, right? But that's exactly what you'll need in order to get to this step. And then this step is exactly what you'll need for this step. And then this step will be exactly what you need for this integral. And before you know it, you'll know what this integral is. You'll know it'll be 1 over 4x to the 4th, right? And trust me, guys, this may seem completely random right now, but don't worry, we'll get you guys there. My plan is to get to this level eventually, okay? And I want to build you guys up alongside, okay? Now, one of the very first things I want you guys to understand about math, right? This is kind of like a fundamental understanding of mathematics. Math can be represented, and the numbers that math represents can be represented in a number of different ways. Don't think of math as just being right or wrong. In a way, it is just right or wrong, right? 5 plus 6 is going to be 11. That's just a fact. You're wrong if you say it's 12 or 13 or 14, right? Like, that's just not correct. However, focus more on the way you approach a task rather than how you were to solve it like initially. So I'll give you an example, right? Say, for example, you have 5 apples, right? 5 apples on your desk, just on your desk. And then, say, for example, your mom and your dad say, "Hey, Johnny, can you go and get us 5 more apples," right? Now, what's your thought going to be? Thought's going to be, okay, what's going to be the total amount of apples we have then, right? So we initially have 5 apples here, and then we're asked to get 5 more apples. Pretty straightforward, right? There are 2 ways of representing this. So, first way, we just do simple addition, right? I'm sure we all know what addition is. It's just adding. So you take something initial and then you add something to that to get a final result, usually indicated by a plus sign like this. I'll show you guys. So wait. So 5 apples, right? That's initially what we have. Plus, this is the sign of addition. Always means adding onto, bigger, getting larger. 5 plus 5, right? Now, what is that going to equal as a total, right? This is an equal sign if you guys don't know. That just means like what it comes out to be, right? What it yields. 5 plus 5, right? We all know that's going to be 10, right? Cool. So that means we're going to have 10 apples in total. Cool. But there's another way to do that, right? It's not always like that. Like, yes, 5 plus 5 is 10. And if you say 5 plus 5 is 11, that's wrong. That's in that regard, math is kind of, one way, and it's the correct way. However, don't think of it like that. What I mean is there's a second way to look at it, right? Can anybody guess what I mean by that? Look, 5, right? So you have that 5 initially, right? Your parents said, can you get the same amount as we have right now, right? That's a clear indicator that we're adding 5 to that. However, we can rewrite that in a different form. Multiplied. Now you guys see it's basically like a slant, like you rotate it, you rotate this plus sign a little bit and you get the multiplied, right? Now the reason it's like this is because it's actually very close in terms of its function, right? So 5 plus 5, that just means you're taking 5, adding 5, you get 10, right? But 5 multiplied by 2, in this case, is going to equal 10. That just means you take 5 and you add 5 to it one more time, right? Because you have 2 5s, right? So it'll be a 5 plus a 5. That's what 5 times 2 means. If it would be 5 times 3, that's the same as saying 5 plus 2 more 5s to get a total of 3 5s, right? Because we have 5 as the base, then we have 1, 2, 3, right? That's where the 3 comes from. See, that's how we get that kind of notation. That's why they're so similar, right? And then 5 times 2 equals 10. 10 apples again. It's the same answer, right? But how we approached it is different. And that's what I mean about math. Don't approach it as a one-size-fits-all. Always think for yourself. Always take time to think about how to solve a problem and then approach it as you wish, because there are multiple different ways to solve the same issue. Don't ever think you have to solve it one way. I personally don't really like that approach, and I will try to show you guys multiple ways of solving the same kind of problem, just, to help if it clicks. Maybe if one way clicks better than the other, then it'll just be easier for you guys, right? Because I think the more we know, the better we are, right? And it'll just help you guys in the future. So leave in the comments down below kind of what you guys are interested in, what kind of topics you need help with, and I'll try my best to get through them, because I'm just kind of gonna be going through how I did my math, so how I kind of progressed through it. So starting with algebra, variables, all that, and then progressing upwards. And please feel free to leave any comments kind of with questions. I'm completely open to making personalized videos and stuff like that. So hopefully you guys will like this, and we'll keep on making these videos. So first video I'll be making shortly, and it'll be on an introduction to algebra. So it'll be introduction to variables, constants, all that stuff. Don't worry if it sounds complicated right now, because we'll get through it, okay? I'll explain to you guys everything there is to know about it. So yeah, okay, thank you very much, guys, and I'll see you guys around.